Can you inject it?
Get out of my house.
You don't inject heroin? I could have sworn you injected.
All right, Chad, I gotta tell you a funny story that happened yesterday. I just gotta fucking tell you. Are you ready? So, I'm on my way back from the gym. Now, no one's gonna believe that part, and you're gonna say fake story starting it off. I swear I was on the way back to my gym, and here's where I can prove it. So, I'm on my way back to the gym, and a cop starts following me. He starts following me from like 20 minutes down the road. Now, I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, okay, this cop's following me. I don't really give a fuck. So, he starts following me, and then he goes ahead of me. And I'm like, you stupid bitch. So, I start going a little bit faster. But I couldn't go way over the speed limit, so I let him pass me. Okay? So, I thought it was because I was blasting music, which I was. And the cop turns towards my house. Now, I'm like, uh-oh. Something must have fucking happened. I had a feeling it was towards my house. I had a feeling. Cop goes towards my house. He takes a right. He goes past Nick's house with the ones with the flamingos in front of it, and he gets to my house. The searchlight goes on, and he scours my entire street. Now, I roll up behind him, and I just park. And I'm out there with 2 Snicker bars for Maya and a protein shake. So, I'm like confuzzled at 3 in the morning, like, what the fuck this cop's doing here? And he just shines the light on me, just point blank right in my eyes. And he's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, what do you mean, what am I doing here? It's my house. I don't think he first believed that it was my house, so he was kind of like playing like hard cop. He was pretty rough on me. Kind of being an ass. Not really too much of an ass, but he was outside my house. And he's like, we got a call to your exact house. Now, I thought it was my neighbors being pissed at me. The cops get called to my house. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? And the guy tells me, he said, yeah, on the phone, we really couldn't make out what it was, but it sounded like it was a girl who was in distress with 2 large men. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, what is happening here? I'm like, no fucking way. I'm like, that's not my house. That's not my house. There's no way. He's like, can we check your house? I said, sure. I let the guy in. He scours the house and looks for stuff. And the only girl that was in my house at the time was Maya. So I'm like, Maya, can you tell him that that's not us and that he's at the wrong house? So Maya wakes up and is like, yeah, what the fuck? The guy goes downstairs and starts looking around. And all of a sudden, Russell comes from out of his room and starts laughing. I'm like, what do you laugh? What's so funny? He's like, are you here because of a random call? And he's like, yeah, what happened? And he's like, yeah, my phone doesn't work. And Alinity apparently grabbed Russell's phone and tried to click the buttons on the side of it because the phone wasn't working. And she was drunk. And she clicked the button 3 times on the side, which does SOS. So then Alinity gave Russell back his phone. He put it in his pocket. And Russell's walking around the house talking to Alinity and Slick. So the cops think that Alinity's in trouble and there's 2 guys that are bothering her. So the cops like, what the fuck's going on? So Alinity is then in the shower. Alinity's in the shower just sitting there. And the cops like, Alinity, I need to see you right now. Because the cop needs to make sure that Alinity's not dying in the shower or is killed. So she's just like, can we please make sure that you're okay? Alinity opens the door, looks at me and Russell, shuts it. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? She shuts the door. And the cop, hey, we need to talk to you. Now, Alinity's a little drunk that night. And she's like, hold on. You don't make a cop wait. So the cop's sitting there. And while he's sitting there, I said, first thing he said, you know, you have a really nice house. And I said, are you a fan of Nintendo 64? He's like, I was a big fan. So, of course, I brought him in my room, and I showed him my boxes. He loved the Dr. Mario and Donkey Kong 64 box. He thought it was fantastic. He's like, wow, your room is amazing. Your house is beautiful. I said, thank you so much, man. It's actually very, very nice. So, Alinity takes so long that the backup cop comes to my house at this point. Because now they think that this is serious shit. They're like, what is going on? Alinity is not getting out of the bathroom because she didn't realize there was actual cops. Even though she opened the door, this dude's like 6'6", just sitting right outside. It took forever. I told her, I said, Alinity, put on a fucking towel and just walk outside real quick and show the cop that you're alive. Alinity got fully dressed and put on makeup because she just didn't know that there was a cop sitting there. She walks out with a Mizkif hoodie on. It's like, hey, what's going on? Oh my God, you're real? The cop's like, dude, what took you 15 minutes to get ready? These poor cops are just fucking sitting there. So the second cop walks down, and then they check the house and knows everything was clear. But I was like, I couldn't believe this. TLDR, Russell's a fucking dumbass and has to go to AT&T. But yeah, that was a pretty fucking funny story. This all happened at 3 in the morning. All of it. And then, me and Slick, we have talks all the time. And whenever we talk, there's a fire pit that's outside my house right now. And we always just walk around it constantly until we resolve our problems. And we started doing that, and then Russell joined us this time, which is a very rare guest. So we're just walking around a fire pit outside, and we were talking about the cops, and we didn't realize that they didn't leave. So from where they were, they saw us walking around a fire pit just talking about them. And it made sense why they didn't leave for like 20 minutes after that. But then they finally left. But god damn, was it just fucking terrible. It was so stupid. Russell's such a dumbass, man. Yes. It's so dumb. So yeah, Russell called the cops by accident on his phone. Dude, he's so stupid.
Did heroin.
No, I felt so bad, man.
It smells like piss, man.
To be fair, it was Alinity. Of course, dude, she clicked the button 3 times, and Russell said he knew that the cops got called, and I bet you he heard 911, where's your emergency, and he just turned it off, being like, oh, they won't know. How stupid are you? Of course they're gonna know the cops. So he just turned off the phone and just went back to his day.
Type 123 to free ice.
What the